Welcome to episode 5 of Crafting on the Plains. Thank you so much for joining me. If you are new here, welcome, and if you are a returning viewer, welcome back. My name is Jacinta. I am coming to you from central-ish Oklahoma, and I am so glad that you are joining me today to talk about my cross stitch, my knitting, my sewing, and all of my other crafty things that I get up to. So I am hoping that this bright pink sweater is not going to blow out the video too much, but I'm just feeling really cozy today because it is a little bit cloudy, a little bit overcast, and everything. So I'm coming to you I'm filming this on October 3rd. And so I wanted to just go ahead and hurry up and get something filmed just because October is a very, very intense month in our household. We have 3 family birthdays. My father-in-law, my daughter, and then my husband. We've also, of course, have Halloween. I'm a college professor, so I've got midterms, grading, doing midterm grades, all the stuff, fall break, just everything is going on this month. So I am very much deep into birthday prep for my daughter's 5th birthday, so that's a lot of what I'm going to be showing you today. But I'm going to just go ahead and get on with the episode. I also did want to mention that I do have an Instagram, so I'd love if you would subscribe over there, as well as, of course, to this YouTube channel. Please hit subscribe if you haven't already. But my Instagram will be linked down below, as well as my email address. So if you're interested in getting any of my conversions, any more information about my projects, just whatever, please feel free to send me an email. So I did want to just go ahead and start off with the winner of the giveaway from my last episode. So thank you everybody who left me really kind comments about my county fair stuff, and also everybody who played along in the giveaway. It was my first giveaway, and I had a lot of really great feedback, so I appreciate it. So the thing that was up for grabs was this spooky project bag made by me, and then also my extra copy of Dracula's Confession. So the winner of this, I just pulled the random comment picker, was Sean Wenrich. Looks like you talked about being from Arizona and that it's really hot there, so you're excited for hopefully some cool off. So hopefully me sending you this spooky season bag will help you feel the autumn vibes. So Sean, please send me, you can either DM me on Instagram or email me at the email below and send me your address so that I can get this shipped out to you. And thank you so much everybody who has played along. I really enjoy getting to send things to y'all, so I'm hoping that this is something I can do more of in the future. So I am going to get into my crafts. As always, I will try to have my timestamps below. If you watch this video right as soon as it comes out, I may not have my timestamps yet just because it does have to take me some time before the video uploads, and then I know I can put the timestamps in. So, but I don't have any fully finished objects that are new, but I had several people comment that they would love to see some of my previous finishes. So I pulled 2 of my autumn decor previous finishes that I have done over the past few years, and I think maybe in my next video I'll show you a couple more. So as I pull out seasonal decor, I'll start showing you. So this first one is one of the first things, I want to say this was like the, I don't know, 3rd or 4th thing I ever cross-stitched, and it is this little freebie by Tiny Modernist, and it's, yeah, again, it's super cute. I changed up my colors quite a bit, so I did, I think the pumpkins were supposed to be black, and I changed them to orange. Why can't I think of words? And this is on some really crunchy, like, I don't know, 14 or 12 count Aida that I got off of Amazon. It worked, it's fine. And the threads are like random, they might even be like JP coats, I don't know. This was when I very first started cross stitching, and one of my friends was moving her mom out of her house and found some craft supplies in the garage and gave them to me because I was the only person that she knew that did crafts. So I just, again, this was very beginning of my cross stitch journey. I was just using what I had, playing around, and I am really happy with how it turned out. So, and then I just finished it as like a flat piece that I just sort of prop up on a shelf, and I just added some gingham and a ribbon, and then this is just a little button that I cut the back off of and hot glued on. So super cute. I love it. It's I don't really stitch that much on Aida anymore, but it does still make me really happy because I do think it's really pretty. And then my second one is also a very early cross stitch piece. I think I made both of these in 2020. This one was my first thing I ever bought off 123 Stitch, like the first time I ever kitted up a whole project off of 123 Stitch, and this is from Little Stitch Girl. I think this is Harvest House, and it is on Aida. I believe it's on an 18 count Aida, and this one I actually found challenging because before this I'd only stitched on like that stiffened type of Aida, and so this was, I think, is Weigert Aida. I don't know which one. It's whatever. I literally used whatever was called for. I did some I don't even know, lazy daisies. I didn't do them right. I did some Smyrnas. I didn't know what I was doing. I also stitched it with fancy floss, but I did not know about crossing one X at a time to make the variegation pop. So this is stitched mostly with variegated threads. You would not know it to save your life though, which is fine. It's a learning process. But I still really like it. I stitched one of the other ones and I just rotate them out along with some other pieces. This is just my clip frame that I've shown before from Michaels that comes in the unfinished wood section. I just dry brushed it with some like off-white graph paint, and so I clip it on there. I added another bow and a button that I just had in my button stash. As you can see, these are finished pretty similarly. I did them at the same time. So this also sits up on my shelf and I really like it. You can tell that this was the first thing I ever finished like flat because my borders are not great, but that's, again, it's fine. You can't tell when it's up on the top of the shelf. Okay, so those are my previous finishes. On Harvest House, like I said, I don't remember everything I used, but I know I just used every single thing that was called for because I just got on 1-3 stitch, clicked it all, and ordered it. So, now getting into my whips, I have a new start. I'm going to go ahead. Actually, no, I have a finish. I have a finished object, and it is living in my fall pumpkin spice bag that I made last year. I finished this. Ooh, it's more wrinkly than I thought it was. I thought I had ironed this thing. So this was my sampler September focus piece. So I apologize for the wrinkles. I think I ironed it and another day when I thought I was going to do a Flosstube and then I didn't, and now it's got wrinkled again. So oopsies. But here we go. It's so pretty. This is Autumn Alphabet. It is by Willow Hill Samplings. I think that's what it's called. Willow Hill Samplings. And it is, this I did for the blue pumpkin Sal. The pumpkins, if you use the called for floss, are not blue. I went over last Flosstube a couple weeks ago. I went over my full conversion of what I used for these pumpkins and the cat and everything like that. So if you're interested, you can click back on that or reach out to me and I'm happy to send you like a proper typed up full conversion that I did. I used about half of the called for, I would say, on this one. And then the fabric is a 36 count murky. And I did this 2 strands over 2. I could have definitely got away with 1 over 2 on this because Picture This Plus is very tight. Their dye process makes their fabric pretty tight, but I'm very happy with the coverage. It's super full coverage, like it's super full coveraged with the stitches, and I love it. So I've already ordered, actually got in the mail like 2 days ago, my frame for this piece. I was going to show it to you, but it's all like bubble wrapped and I didn't want to rip it all apart. So it's going to be like a navy blue frame. I think that'll really make this piece pop. the blue because I use kind of like a dark navy blue in it. So I'm very, very happy about that. Happy to have that one finished because I started that one last year. Okay, so my next, now my work in progress, I will show you, I have a new start, and I'm going to show you that to you first. This is something I showed last time. It's living in just an Amazon bag because I am working on a project bag for this. I just don't have it finished yet. But this is my Winter Wonderland Mystery Stitch Along by Caterpillar Cross Stitch. And I'll go ahead and just pop a picture in here because I'm actually looking over there at the cover, but the cover doesn't show you much anyway because it's a mystery. So I got the whole kit. I love it. I got the needle minder. I understand the hype about the Caterpillar Cross Stitch needle minders. They're amazing. I want to order more, except for obviously I have to pay for shipping from the UK. But here is my tiny little start. So there's a super cute hot chocolate needle minder, and there I've got like part of a Christmas tree. And this is on the 32 count even weave. I really love this. I've not stitched on even weave in a while. I've been mostly doing linen, I guess, except for my full coverage. And I'm really enjoying the even weave. How nice it is to stitch on. And here are my flosses. Again, I'm just using the kit, everything. I love this. I love the way they're flossed. I love it all. I am under no delusions that I'm going to keep up with this stitch along. There's no way. I think the second part has already come out and I'm still working on the first part. That's okay. I did not think that I was going to keep up with it because, like I said, October is a very busy month for me. And I'm a seasonal stitcher, so I'm still very much wanting to focus on my Halloween and fall pieces. And this is a Christmas piece, so I am enjoying stitching on it a little bit, but I am not worried. I will catch back up at some point, or I won't, and I'll finish it later this year or next year or whatever. But I really, really just loved this pattern, and I really, really loved the kit, and I wanted to get the kit. So that's why I joined in the mystery stitch along, not because I thought that I was going to keep up. So I'm not worried about keeping up with this. I don't know. Hopefully I'll have a little bit more progress the next time I film, but I do not expect to have this finished when the sow finishes up. But it is so beautiful. Okay, so some more whips. So living in my twin to the bag that I just gave away, I guess sister because the back is different, so it's the sister to the bag that I just gave away. My flosses are on the outside because I was working on this earlier. Is my Raccoon Rabble by Plum Street. And I'm really, really enjoying this piece. And here, fold it over so it's easier to see. Here we are. Again, pardon the hoop marks because I was working on this earlier, but it's so cute. It's so cute. I got this, I just finished the pumpkin, which was stressful. I don't know why, but the pumpkin stressed me out. So, but it's okay, it's done now. So I've almost finished the top little raccoon. I need to do a few little things here and then add its little feet. This tiny one, which is mostly stitched over one, is almost completely finished. I have a couple more things to do, and I've been working on the corn. So it is coming along. I love this. I have been really trying to be very purposeful about how I do my variegated floss. So I'm stitching these. So if you've ever seen a raccoon up close, which is a very country thing for me to say, if you've ever seen a raccoon like up close, they kind of almost have stripes. Like obviously their tail is ringed, but they almost have like dark gray and like medium gray stripes on their body. And so I purposefully stitched it up and down to show some of that variegation in stripes. And then I did the same thing for the pumpkin just because I thought it would kind of follow the pumpkin's ribs. And there are some of those like fancy pumpkins that you buy that have like more up and down type of stripes that go along the ribs. So I thought I've been trying to play with how I do the variegation on here on my, you know, fancy flosses to get the impact, get the effect that I want. So I'm really enjoying that. And on this, I am using all of the called for fancy floss. Whoops. And I would say like half of the called for DMC. So there it is. And I would really, really love to get this one finished before Halloween. If I have to carry it over to next year, that's okay. But I would really love to finish it this year because then I can start next year fresh on new seasonal stitches. My next piece is my sort of daily stitch. So I've been trying to do this one in the mornings. I usually stitch about half the mornings. That's okay. I think I'm just committing to leaving this in the Q-snap because it's gonna be kind of slow progress. And the other half of it literally has nothing except for the other half of this moth. So what I have done, this right here is, oh, I forgot to tell you. So on my raccoon rabble, that is, ooh, on my raccoon rabble, that was 36 count Milk and Honey by Fiber and a Whim. And this one is on 36 count Saltbush by Fox and Rabbit. And it's, both of these are 2/2 on 36 count. That is my default for 36 count, is 2/2. It will always be that way unless I tell you otherwise. But this one is on Saltbush, which I love. And this is White Winter Moth by Kathy Barrick, which I'll also insert a picture of. So I finished this Quaker motif, I finished this Quaker motif, I finished this Quaker motif, and then I've started working on this one. And I did the little cute bird and the flower. So I'm about like 65% finished with this, just because this central moth is a lot of stitching. Let me see if I can show it to you. Let me pull this part out. Boom. Tons of stitches. So this moth in and of itself is like 45% of the stitches in the project. But yeah, so you can see it is slow going. I'm fine with it. I think I will add this to my WIPGO next year and try to make it more of a focus piece on occasion. But I'm just happy to work on it a little bit as I go. And this is living in a bag that I did not make. This one is from Sheba Designs. I really love her bags. They're beautiful. And my needle minder is from Flamingo Toes. And this is all the call for DMCs. All right. I have, sorry if I'm shaking the camera a little bit. I'm in a slightly different setup, so I'm trying to make it work. I have in my Made project binder double bag thing, I have my full coverage. This is Mini Ravenkin by Heaven and Earth Designs, and I finished my second page on this one, and I am so excited. So let me see. I have got park threads everywhere. So I'm going to try to clean those up just a tad so that it's not so hard for you to see what's going on. And there we go. So that is page 2. Ooh, so much park threads. Sorry about that. This one's going to be a mess every time I show it, but it's okay. So I finished the moon, which was rough because it was white on like 3 different tones of white. And I finished this as the, let's see if I can gesture to it without getting tangled in threads. So this is the top of her head. I think you can see like her hair. I was real worried that this was not going to look okay because I couldn't really see what I was doing, but I think it's fine. I finished some more birds, some more like trees, the kind of like moon glow. And then over here, this kind of dips into the page, but it was a whole new color that's really not anywhere near here. So I didn't want to bust into a new color just for like a corner and then park it. So yeah, I'm really excited. It's coming along beautifully. This is on 25 count antique white even weave 2/1 tent stitch. And I've said before, but tent stitch is, I've never stitched a full coverage. So it's the only way I've ever stitched a full coverage, but so far I'm loving it. I love the tent stitch. And I don't feel like you can tell that it's only going one direction. I am going to do the next page that I do. I try to do a page and then take a little break from this and then focus on other projects because I could work on this all the time and I'd never get anything else done. So I'm going to do this page down here. So I'm going to kind of go like keep it angled. So I'm going to do this page here because after all of this white on white, I'm ready to stitch like gigantic squares of black. I thought I hated the gigantic squares of black, but white, 4 shades of white on white has made me appreciate the hundreds and hundreds of black stitches. So that's how it is. But I'm very happy with this. Very pretty. I have no idea when I'll finish this. If I finish it in like a couple years, a year or two, I'll be happy. It's only about 9 pages, and then there's a couple half pages at the bottom. So I started this back in April, and I've now done 2 pages, and I actually cannot remember my percentage that I'm on, but it's like 20-something%. So it's not bad. Not bad at all. Okay, that wraps up my cross stitch. I'm hoping I did not go through that too quickly, but I had quite a bit of cross stitch to get through, so I wanted to make sure that you saw it all. I'm going to talk a little bit about knitting and then a little bit about sewing. So I have 2 knitting projects I want to show you, and I have misplaced one of them. Please hold. Okay, I'm back. So I have 2 knitting projects. One of them is actually the socks that I had semi-abandoned for a while. I don't know, I was a little bit burnt out on the sweater that I was knitting for my daughter, which I'll show you in a second. So I just decided to pick back up these socks. So these socks, the pattern is Morning Coffee Socks by Kay the Crazy Sock Lady. And this is the one that I had finished previously. It has this kind of like broken rib texture, which is hard to see. The sock colorway, this is all a sock set by Dragon Horde Yarns in the Bone Runes. It's like the Bone Rune sock set. So I don't know what the individual colors are because it came with all of these. And this is actually showing up fairly true to color. So maybe I should wear obnoxious pink clothes more often because it seems to be helping. But there we are. So I finished the cuff and then about half of my little tiny leg, because I do shorty socks mostly. Right there. That's very true to color. It's so pretty. So I'm there, and you can kind of see how much more leg I have to do. So these are just kind of a car project, kind of a, like, I don't know, whenever I'm not feeling like working on the sweater project, they'll get done whenever they get done. I have a drawer full of hand knit socks, so I'm not worried about it. I knit socks for mostly enjoyment, not out of necessity at this point in my life. My other project is my daughter's sweater. This thing I'm getting stressed about because I have like 2 weeks. I went to a yoga retreat this weekend. I was talking to somebody and they were like, "Oh, you just have 16 days to finish it." And that was like 2 days ago. And I was like, 16 days sounds like not a lot of days. But okay, I think I can do it. I think you can do it. So, here we are. It's going to be oversized. It is always planned. So this is The Adventures with Rainbows by Jennifer Steingass. I love how it looks. So here we go. I have bound off the body, folks. So here we are. I think it called for a twisted rib, and I just did a regular rib because I knit Eastern European style, and I don't know why, but I don't like my twisted rib on a lot of things. So, it has to be, I don't mind my twisted rib when I start, but if I'm binding off, like if it's at the end of the project, I don't like my twisted rib, which is weird, but that's how it is. So I just did a regular 1x1, and then I did the tubular bind off, which is my favorite. It is tedious. It is so much work, but it looks so good, and it's worth it to me. So I am now on the first sleeve. I have knit a tiny bit of the first sleeve. I have quite a bit to go. I am still deciding, so the sleeves call for the rainbow to be mirrored on the bottom of the sleeve, which I see the benefit of, but I feel like number one, doing single round stripes on a small circumference is going to be awful. Number two, I have I have like 2 weeks at this point to finish this thing. And then number three is this is going to be oversized, like absolutely for sure. It's going to be oversized. And I'm planning it this way because I think that oversized sweaters look cute on her with like some little leggings and stuff like that. And then it'll last her like at least another year. She'll like grow into it. And then it'll be more of like a regular fitting sweater. So I may end up having to roll up the cuffs a little bit. And I just don't know how I would feel about having the cuffs rolled up and having like the pearl bumps. I do think the pearl bump side looks pretty, but with all those ends woven in and the cuffs rolled up, I just don't know. Let me know what you think. What is your opinion? I'm kind of thinking I might omit the rainbow at the bottom of the sleeves because I think it looks absolutely gorgeous like this. I think it's fine. It's plenty of rainbow. So I don't know. Am I just being lazy, or am I just justifying this to myself, or is that a valid line of thinking? Please tell me. Okay, so, and this is living in the project bag that I made, that I show you every time because honestly I'm very proud of this thing. I don't know, it came out exactly how I wanted it to, you know? Okay, lots of yarn everywhere. All right, that concludes my knitting. I am looking over here because that's where my my other stuff is. That concludes my knitting. I am going to show you one piece of sewing. I don't really have any haul. I have a couple things, but they're all like for kitting up like one specific project. So it sort of makes sense to just show you later when I'm planning on doing that project as opposed to showing you. I haven't bought anything like fun. Like, I mean, it's all fun, right? But I haven't bought anything just to buy it recently. So I will hold off on the haul. All right, so my one sewing project is also birthday related. It is in this tub. This is my favorite tub. I got it from the Dollar Tree and I haven't seen them since. I think they come out around Valentine's Day, but this is how I store my quilting and sewing projects to organize them when I am working on multiple projects. I used to use like Ziploc bags, but everything would kind of get crammed and squished and whatever. So I love these tubs. They're cheap. They're not like, I mean, they're a little bit flimsy plastic, let's be honest, but I like them. They're really pretty and they look cute, like stacked up in my craft room. So here we are. So this is the, I actually don't remember the name of this. This is Violet Fields Thread Natalie. So, I mean, like you're going to be able to get anything off this, but there is Violet Field Thread, Violet Field Threads. This is one of my favorite companies for little girls clothing. They have adult women clothing too, and I have been quite tempted to make myself some because they have mommy and me matching like patterns. Love it. But they're online, so you have to buy them as PDFs, but they are fabulous. They are so well designed. They're very like bespoke. I mean, they're so beautiful. Some of them are over the top. I mean, they're gorgeous, but it's like if you're making a flower girl dress or like a dress for a very fancy occasion. But they also have super casual versions as well. So this one is the Natalie, which I am heavily modifying. So I have really, the bodice is all I've done because the skirt is just 2 rectangles. I'm going to sew them together. So this is my bodice, and I'm using the Minnie Mouse Pride fabric from Joann's because my daughter wanted rainbow, her birthday's rainbow themed. She wanted a rainbow Minnie Mouse, and somehow I came across this, and it's amazing. So I've sewn the bodice, and I have not put on, I just did my buttonholes here. So it's a button up front. I have modified this heavily. So the original pattern has a very low back, like a very low, like scoop back. I took that out for a couple reasons. Number one, I sew her things, I make her clothes for her birthday because her birthday is right around the changing of seasons. And so it's a good way for me to go ahead and make her a few things that she can put in her fall and winter wardrobe. And for a fall dress, I did not want it to be backless because, I mean, we live in the South, but she would still get cold, right? And I noticed that on a lot of the pictures, the sample photos, that the back, the part where it was the thinnest, was like sometimes pulling kind of weirdly. And I don't know if it was just the way the little girl was standing or if it was that particular fabric or whatever, but I didn't like the way it was kind of pulling. And I knew it would bother me. So I went ahead and I literally just took the pattern piece, and I can actually show you what I did. So I took the pattern piece, and you can kind of see here. I don't think it matters if I show you the pattern piece. It's not like it's to scale. So I took the pattern piece, and I literally just like drew an arch here from the top and then cut it out that way. It was fine. And then I also, this originally had sleeves, and I decided to forego the sleeves. I actually even cut the sleeves out and everything, but then I was thinking, it's a woven fabric, it's quilting cotton, so I was a little bit afraid that she would feel constrained in her sleeve movement, and I knew she wouldn't like that. And then number two, I am planning on this being a dress, but also kind of a jumper, so she can wear it over like a long sleeve, just regular shirt when it's colder outside, which half the time it's cold on her birthday, half the time it's not. And then of course, going forward in the year, it'll be colder. So I thought that the sleeves and the low back would make it a lot more difficult to wear a long sleeve or a turtleneck or a thermal or something underneath it. So I thought that this would be a more versatile way of having the dress. So I pretty much used the Natalie, but didn't do any of the components that made it unique. So, but the fabric itself is very bold, so I don't think it needs a lot of like extra. So there we go. And then the buttons actually, I don't have them with me, but they're going to be kind of plain like silvery purpley buttons. And then I just lined it with this fabric that I had around. So there's my bodice. It's coming along. This I also really need to work on. It's bad because once I kind of eliminated the sleeves and eliminated this and that and the other things, it's sort of like I knew that it was something that I was going to be able to assemble kind of quickly, and then I was able to procrastinate it, which was not a good plan. So I really need to take a little bit of time this week and just start working on it a little bit more. That way it's finished well in time for her birthday, because this one actually, I think that she's going to wear this one for sure to her birthday party, and so it needs to be done earlier than her birthday. And I still need to sew her Halloween costume. So I have a lot to do. Okay, so that pretty much concludes my crafting this time. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much if you've stuck around this long to see everything. Again, if you haven't subscribed already, please consider doing so. I'd really appreciate it. And also go ahead and follow me on my other social media so that we can keep in touch. And I hope that you have a great next couple weeks and that you are enjoying lots and lots of crafting time.